Hey Facebookers, Train with Nick group. Hope you're all well. As I said, I was going to run a short webinar on why you need a training program, basically. Now, I know that the majority of people, if they don't have a program in place or a structure, they will more than likely fail. In other words, they're not going to make progress with their body composition results, because you see what happens for a lot of people is they just dabble and they just turn up to the gym, do something, but not anything specific to get a very specific result. So with that in mind, you need to be planning each training session out. And then every time you complete those training sessions, you need to be able to track them in some way, so that when you come back to repeating that training session again, you will be able to see where you started. And then by week, say 4 or 6, depending on how far you go, or how many times you repeat that program, you can check to see how far you've progressed. Now, it's going to be different depending on whether you're a new trainee or somebody who's more advanced. The more advanced you are, and what I mean by that is, I don't mean who can pump the most iron. I literally mean by the person that's been training longer, has an older training age, where they've trained seriously with inside a gym, or at home if they've got weights at home, and they're pushing themselves, making sure they've got intensity there, and they're training hard each time, because you need to make sure your intensity's there. And basically, if you've got somebody who's got an older, more advanced training age, so let's say I've been training, I would say I've been training relatively hard for the last 6 to 7 years. I have been training since the age of 17, but I'd say 6 to 7 years is a time that I've been actually training hard and properly. So for me, I need to make sure my programs are usually changed every 4 weeks. For an athlete who's at elite level, you might need to change their programs every week to 2 weeks, depending on how experienced they are, because it's all to do with the adaptation to the training. There is science to show that you adapt to a specific program after 4 to 6 sessions. So this is why normally, if we're running a program, say I was PTing you right now, then what would happen is you'd do 1 session a week, and I'd evaluate it between week 4 and week 6 to see when we're going to start the next part of the cycle. Simple reason being that when you start it, the very first workout is usually based around technique and getting into it. The second session is generally you find the weight loading point, and then you progress from there and sort of push it onwards. Yeah. Now, without having a plan or a set structure in place, it does make it very difficult to see and analyze where you're making progress and where you're not, especially when it comes to body fat. Right? If you're trying to lose weight, okay, all you're doing is going to go off the scales. If you're losing body fat, we use calipers and a circumference measure. Yeah. So if we can see what someone's doing specifically on a set day, so let's say you train Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you'll do 4 days booked in, okay, and we know your calories are, let's say, 2,000 per day, and then we know that to create a deficit, right, we need to be losing 3,500 calories over that whole week to get you to start dropping. Then we need to make sure we're manipulating the nutrition for one and training for another. Now, if you skip 1 or 2 of those workout days cumulatively over, let's say, a month, right, and you're skipping maybe 4 sessions in that month, let's say, that's 2,000 calories potentially you're not going to burn, right? So if you start adding that up over time, then you're not going to make the progress that you should be making. Because when, as trainers, as coaches, we adapt it to make sure it's not too restrictive and you're not dropping too fast. That's not what we want. We want you to retain your lean body mass as best as possible. So we would structure it in such a way that you're utilizing your training to get rid of some calories, to start creating a deficit, and to manipulate your food and your eating and intake of calories will manipulate that to also create a deficit. Okay, if you wonder why my hand's up, it's because I'm trying to block the light in the background reflecting. So this is why I say to you, if you've got, you need to set out a little plan. Maybe I'm not sure if I've even added it to the group. I might add it to the group. I've got like a little template planner of how you can plan your workouts in. And then you work backwards, okay? So we work backwards. We know, for me, if you're a client starting with me, what I will do is we'll figure out at the start how many training sessions you can. Realistically, let's get real, because we all have real lives. We have work, we have family commitments, we have social events. So let's just be realistic with your training, okay? Then what we will do, we'll go, right, okay, Dave, you have said to me you can commit to 3 sessions a week, definitely? Yes, Nick, of course, that's no problem. Right, okay, so if you have another free day and you can get another training session in, great, do it. But we're going to cycle it for 3 days a week. So then you map that on to a plan. So we schedule in those workouts, and basically those workouts get plotted in for that each week, and then we can then go, right, okay, for those 3 days of the week, we're going to figure out a plan for how many programs you're going to have. So if someone's doing 3 days a week and they're relatively new, I would more than likely get them doing maybe 1 or 2 programs and alternating them, yeah? So it equals itself out over the month. Or I might chuck 1 day of cardio in there. It depends on their goals. So you need to have a structure in place to make sure that you're progressing forwards with each one. Now, I have got an app that I use to deliver all my training plans now. And we've got a nice little scheduler in there that actually notifies you to remind you that you've got X training to do on a certain day, or you need to eat X amount on a certain day, or you need to have X amount, or to remind you to do certain things. Because it's all about building habits, okay? And as business owners, the majority, I know there's a big chunk of people in this group who are business owners or executives of some description. And I know with myself, I don't know about you guys, but talking with clients, a lot of the problem is they tend to put the business at the top priority and their health and fitness goes lower. And this is why they then approach me a little bit down the line when they know they've got a bit more freedom, and then basically they then can and then they start focusing on themselves. Now, without a plan in place and going, right, this is my time, this is when I'm going to do it, then how can you expect to move forward? How can you expect to get the result you want? You know, losing weight is relatively easy in theory, but actually actioning and implementation is another story. Okay, so you know, like I put this challenge in the group. They ran the 30-day challenge about a week and a half ago, and I said I'd get it started and would let it flow. And guess what? I had probably, I think, 25% of the group were up for doing it, or 50% of the group, somewhere around there. Can't remember the numbers, but anyway, at the time, a lot of people commented and were like, "Yeah, let's do it." So what happens? We get 7 days in, everyone's going, "Yeah, I've managed to get 6 workouts in." Brilliant, right? So, and the challenge was to do 30 days straight, something each day, whether it be a dog walk, a jog, a gym training session, a class, a boot camp, whatever it is. And basically, we got to about day 14, and people were gradually dwindling off and not doing it, and going, "I've got this problem," or "I've got that problem." And this is what I try and tell people, right? Life gets in the way. So don't be too harsh on yourself. Whether you can do 20 minutes a day, Most people can grab 20 minutes in a day to do some sort of intense workout. This is why HIIT workouts, they're not necessarily any better than a normal workout, training like resistance or, you know, doing something along those lines. But where HIIT workouts can benefit a lot of people is in terms of how much time they take up. You can get a relatively good hit on your hit on your metabolic rate to increase it and spike it up by just doing 20 to 30 minutes. So there is that to factor in. Now again, would I give HIIT to somebody who's highly stressed? No, I wouldn't, because that's going to make them worse. So there's lots of factors in why we should schedule training in, and then we can work backwards and work out what type of programs are going to be put in. Yeah, it might mean that having a training program might have some rest and recovery periods in. How's about that for a ninja tip? Right, so I see a lot of business owners struggling with stress, not sleeping enough, me included, like at the minute, and yeah, basically, sometimes you need to get them to just dial in their relaxation time. So go and sit in a sauna, go and have a jacuzzi, go and have a sports massage, go and have a soft tissue massage even. Go for a walk. Sometimes that can benefit you more than going and training in the gym, right? It's all about getting that balance. There's a fine line there, and it's going to be unique for each one of you. No one's going to be the same. Yeah, so having a structure there and a layout, so you know, right, okay, Monday I'm training all over program 1, Tuesday I'm doing all over program 2, Wednesday I'm walking the dog, Thursday I'm doing all over program 1, Friday I'm doing all over program 2, Saturday and Sunday might be your rest days. Yeah, simple as that. Or if you're more advanced, it might be Monday you do legs because you might want to get that part out of the way. Who knows? Tuesday you might do chest and back, or just even chest. Wednesday you might do some shoulders and abs. Thursday you might do back again, or instead of chest and back. Depends on the combination. On Friday you might do your triceps. Saturday might be some form of cardio, right? Sunday might be your rest day. But again, depends on whether you're recovering or not. Again, we have to factor all of these things in and structure it in such a way. My piece of advice to you, okay? For most people, they will only be able to find around 3 to 4 hours a week without making too many sacrifices, yeah? Because we've all got busy lives, some more than others in front of TVs. Not mentioning any names, but people do, because it's all excuses. It's all boils down to priorities at the end of the day. So what I would say is just give yourself a goal. If, you know, aim to train 2+ days a week. One training session a week isn't going to do jack shit for you, to be quite frank. You'll be wasting your energy doing just once a week. It'll be a waste of time, right? You'll be better off just focusing on your nutrition. So you want to be looking at 3 to 4 training days a week. It's what I look at with all my clients, and I tell them from the start that's the focus they need to be working on. Okay, so that could be 2 with me, it could be 1 by themselves, and then they might do some active rest. If they want to see the best benefits, then I think that's what you need to be putting in. Doing too little is not going to really help you very much. Maybe, you know, maybe if you're brand new to it all, maybe you can only do once a week, and maybe you just break yourself in, but you've got to expect slightly slower results doing it that way. All right? But all I'm just trying to get across is you need to have a structure in place so you can track, monitor, and see where you're progressing. If whatever you're doing, both the training and nutrition wise, is working together. Because sometimes certain ways of eating, certain styles of eating don't go very well with certain styles of training. and it can have a negative impact, and you can have low energy and poor performance, and that's not what we want, right? My focus is on health, improving your lifestyle, which ultimately will improve your body composition. But there's a fine line there. So this is why I say, if you don't have a structure or a plan in place for your training, you're not going to get the result you want at all. All right? You just got to remember that. And I don't want to sound like a preacher, and I don't want to seem like a dick, because that's not what I've tried to do. I'm just trying to be honest with you. You need a combination, really, of your training and your nutrition to get a nice balance, to create a calorie expenditure, because otherwise it's going to make the nutrition harder in terms of what you have to do with it to get the weight loss coming off. Yeah. So there's all that to be taken into account. But that all said, I'm going to round up on that note. If I haven't already put the template in the group, so you can see an example template of how it might look, I'll put that in the group if it's not already in there. Otherwise, I will place a link in it below the video tonight. As always, please feel free to share any recipes, any successes, any struggles. You know, like I say, I want to make this community interactive. I don't want to be just purely putting all the input in. I want you all to get benefit from it. If you found use from anything, just please like the posts or just comment below. I'm going to be making some more content based around the feedback I'm getting, and I'll pop some stuff in here. But yeah, other than that, if you know anyone that needs help with their training or nutrition, or even just a mindset, or just they need to be involved in a community to help boost their motivation levels, then feel free to invite them into the group. Give them the link. I'm more than happy for people to join this group. I want to get I want to influence a lot of people. I've set a big goal for the next 5 years, and I want to influence and help a lot of people. You know, even if they're not paying clients, it doesn't bother me. The money's not the driving factor for me, and I'll say that again, it's not the driving factor for me. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me and ask me a question. Don't be scared. Yeah, I always learn, because I was always nervous about asking questions in the seminars when I go on courses, because I feel like I might look an idiot. Don't worry about it. No question's a silly question. If you've got something that you're mulling over in your head, you want to ask me something specific about training or nutrition, or if you want some guidance, then hit me up. I'll see what I can do. Yeah. Obviously, I can't give you full training plans and programs, because that's what my clients pay me for, and for the accountability side of things. But what I can do is I can help try and provide some support, some education, and a community base where you feel comfortable talking about anything within the group. All right. So that's me over and out. I hope you're all looking forward to a fantastic weekend. Hopefully the sunshine's going to be out and glaring away. I'll be in the garden burning some calories painting. And I'll keep you updated with my vlogs on my own stuff that I'm doing. Nutrition's bang on, but training is suffering at the minute, just because I've got numerous bits and pieces to get done. Yes, it's an excuse, and yes, I put it as a priority, but it's fine. I'm not going to stress about it. It's life. But I need to obviously I manipulate my nutrition to compensate. So, and I know how to do that, because I know how my body adapts. And next Monday I'll post up exactly where I'm at weight wise, so you can see what I've done in the last week. So yeah. Anyway, have a good weekend, and I will see you all soon. Take care, people.